bowels of mercy. In his innermost parts, God desires for us to be one with him. He desires for us to serve him. His love and his mercy can never be fathomed. We sing that song about the sky being a scroll and the ocean being filled with ink, and we still couldn't write about the love of God. God's love comes from his innermost being. Say that verse with me that we all know, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That is God's promise to us. Yes. That is his peace that he gives us, that his love that he gives us in the person of his Son, Jesus Christ. Through those heartfelt mercies, God's sunrise will break upon us. What a beautiful picture of Jesus Christ being our sunrise. He is the light of the world. He cuts through all the darkness. There is no darkness that can stand against the sunrise of God. There is no darkness that can stand against the light of the world, Christ Jesus. How can we be sure? How can we know that that light exists? There are people who witnessed it. There are people who have told us God has come. He has brought his light. He is a light in the darkness. They were there for the preview. They saw what happened, and they have told us what has happened through the scriptures that God has given us. We could not be more sure of God's glory, of God's mercy, of God's love, of God's peace through his Son, Jesus Christ. He is the rising sun, the morning star that is sent for us, each and every one of us. How awesome is that? Then finally, we see that God's plan is coming all together, summed up in that last sentence of our Luke passage today. Then showing us the way, one foot at a time, down the path of peace. What happens when you get up in the middle of the night and there's no light on? You bump into stuff. We have night lights all over the house. Yeah, you trip over a dog. That's how Cindy fell. But we have night lights all over the place because we want to be able to see. We don't want to bump into things. We don't want to step on a toy or trip over a dog. Jesus Christ is that light. And he's going to show us that path. But you know what? He is not going to light up the path all at one time, because we might be afraid and not go forward. He's not going to show us any more than we need to see so that we can take that path in his time and along with his plan for our lives, for each and every one of us. When he sent his Son to redeem us, he sent his Son to bring us peace and love and restoration to him. He brought his Son to redeem us from darkness, to bring us into his light, to bring us into his arms and into his comfort, into his encouragement. And that's what God did for us, for each and every one of us. He set up this pathway of peace, one step at a time. I like that, one step at a time. I don't have to take 4 or 5 steps. I can take one step at a time. Sometimes that's all I can do. You know, sometimes I can't take more than one step, and God knows that. And he guides us down the pathway of peace, one step at a time, showing us the way, one foot at a time, down the path